Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel. I don't usually do product reviews, but if I find something I'm super passionate about, I do like to share. And I've been looking for a power screwdriver to work on my 10th scale RC crawler. And I had my eye on a few different ones waiting for a sale, but I never found quite the right one that had all the requirements that I really liked until this new DeWalt came out. This is the 66719, and I think it's going to be probably exactly what I'm looking for my needs. So I'll tell you about the new features and see if you like it. This is the new DeWalt 66719. And previously, DeWalt had two other power screwdrivers in their line. They had the 682 and the 680. And both of these were nice, but they were kind of big. And here's a photo I put together. It's not to exact scale, but I tried to size it as closely as possible. You can see that the new 719 is quite a bit smaller in diameter and a little bit shorter than the other two. The 680 has a rotating handle, so you've got a 90-degree pistol grip if you want. And the 682 does not have a torque setting. I really think a torque setting is critical so you don't strip and destroy screws that might be going into the plastic. So I wasn't super compelled by either of those. They're both still on their website, but I'm not certain if they're still available because they seem to be out of stock almost everywhere. So they may be shortly discontinued. Hard to say. This new one is quite a bit of a different animal. The main difference is that the batteries are not removable on the new one. So if you're a professional and you use your screwdriver many hours every day and you need interchangeable rechargeable batteries, then this new one might not be for you. But I certainly don't need that type of life, and I actually didn't like the idea of having to carry a separate charger for the batteries. So I originally bought this tiny screwdriver, which was kind of a mistake because it's way too small to provide any torque. It's probably only good for maybe 24th scale, if that. It's really designed for tiny projects like taking your phone apart. This really isn't suitable for 10th scale or 8th scale hobbies. So let's see what's in the box. Also comes with a USB-C charge cable, which, I mean, I have 1,000 of them. I probably didn't really need another one. It also came with some bits. But let's take a look at the screwdriver itself. It's not too bulky. It's just the right size, I think. And if you activate it, you get a battery gauge here. It charges from a USB-C port right here. This rubber plug is kind of hard to put back in place. I might just tear it off altogether. See that? It does not go back in very well. Two demerits for that. There. Okay. Now the other DeWalt screwdrivers had what's called a gyroscopic action. You basically just hold it in space, twist it to the left, twist it to the right. It knows which way you're twisting it, and it will activate. And I don't know if I was going to like that feature, but universally people I talk to like that gyroscopic feature, but I can certainly live without it, and I'd almost prefer manual controls. So the way this works is super simple. You just, this is the locked position, and to go forward, backwards, you can drive all this with your thumb. It's pretty cool. And the torque settings are on the bottom here. Now the one thing that's really cool, which I'll show you in a minute, is that in the forward direction, you are limited by the torque on the back. But in the backwards direction, it's always full torque, which is really cool because if you have other clutch tools, usually the forward direction and the reverse direction both are subject to the same torque limit, which means a lot of times when you're trying to back something out, you have to stop, crank the torque up to get it back out. This is always full torque in the reverse direction, which I think is a brilliant feature. Also has a LED light. It's not very bright, looks like 4 LEDs. And it has a really nice steel chuck. The knurling is just perfect and it feels really solid because it's all steel. What I like about it is the bits don't go flying when you disengage them. the bits stay in. So you just push it straight in and it comes out. If you contrast that to the Wira chuck on my drill, the bits often go flying. Not always, but most of the time. And it's super annoying. This one does not go flying. I guess if I pulled it fast enough, it might. No, look at that. I don't think I'm going to be picking my bits up out of the dirt, so that's a great feature. I'll put an affiliate link to Amazon in the description if you want to purchase this or any other tools or items you see on this channel. Every little bit helps the channel get more equipment and more tools and more devices for reviewing and experimenting in the future. So we greatly appreciate using the links, plus you'll be sticking it to the man because Amazon will very kindly share a small commission with the channel. Another thing that I really like, and this will have zero value to any of you, it comes with Torx bits. And if you haven't watched my video on why Torx fasteners are the best, you can check it out right here. It's a super long and boring video about why you should have great bolts on your vehicle. And this comes with a T8, which is kind of uncommon, and I'm certain that you probably will rarely find a place to use it, but every M2.5 fastener that I use has a T8 Torx on it, and all my M3s have a T10. So I love that they gave this T8, but again, it's probably pretty limited application for most people. You got the standard screwdrivers and a couple of square drives. So let me do a little demo here. I've got a pilot hole drilled, and I'm going to start this on number 1. And we'll see how much torque it takes to put this in. Okay, that stopped pretty easily. The cool thing is the instructions say after you get it most of the way in, use it like a normal screwdriver to finish the torque. So you can refund this in this state, and evidently it doesn't hurt it. But now, the number 1 setting, it's not going to turn anymore. So let me crank it up to 3. So that got a little deeper. One thing you notice is that it doesn't have that clickety-clackety clutch when you're at torque. It just stops. Now I'm going to crank this up to 6, and my guess is this is going to be real powerful, so I got to hold on tight. All right, that was quite a bit of torque, and there's still a little left if I wanted to make it tighter, and I may have tightened it too much. Let's see if it'll pull it out. Nope, so I'm going to back it out a little bit until it's loose, and then there we go. So again, the reverse torque is full torque at all times. The only downside to full torque in reverse is that if you're doing something with left-hand threads. Now, I can only think of 2 times in my life when I've encountered a left-hand thread. It would be bicycle pedals and bicycle crank bearings, but you would never use this kind of tool on that. So it's a pretty safe bet that anything that you're turning counterclockwise, loosey-lefty, you're probably removing it. So you've got full torque. You don't have to stop and reset the torque to get something out. It's always full torque in reverse, and then it's torque controlled in the forward direction. Really smart feature. And let me demonstrate that real quick. All right, I'm going to put this all the way down to 1, and you'll see that it's still, in the reverse mode, still full torque. That's definitely not the number 1 torque setting. So even though it's on 1, the reverse torque is always maxed out at 6. Now let me put in a bigger screw. I think this was a number 8, and this is a number 10 size screw. Let's try driving it in the small hole. All right, so 3 is not quite enough. You know, I actually feel like there's a click in between each of these. All right, let's try it at 4. I'll crank it up to 6. Now at 6, you really got to hold on to it because it's got some torque. And It's almost a little difficult to hold onto it tight and engage it, so you really want to be careful if you're using this highest setting. So here it is on 6. Looks like I've reached the limit. So it's got quite a bit of power, but there definitely is a limit. I think this is more than enough for most of the stuff you're going to do. That's a pretty big screw, and I honestly wouldn't expect it to drive that in all the way. I think if this had any more torque, it would twist right out of your hand without a pistol grip. And because it doesn't have a clutch that releases, you really got to hold onto it tight. On my drill, it takes 14 or 15. And of course, the proper tool is an impact wrench, but I think this shows that this has a lot of torque, enough for what you should be doing with this size of tool. I think one of the very best complements to this tool are these MIP bits. I call it MIP because that's what the crusty old dude at the hobby shop when I was a kid called it, but it's probably actually MIP. But MIP or MIP makes all their fasteners in 1/4 inch hexes, so this is really awesome for putting your wheels on and off. Highly recommend these. Their hex bits are quite long, so they may be too long for this application. I'm going to use much shorter bits, but the MIP hex drivers are probably a really great complement to this. They're super high quality and not likely to strip out your bolts, although personally I always use Torx fasteners. Now let's get a gauge for the low end of the torque. Remember, this is full torque in reverse, so I should have no problem taking off my wheels. Easy. Now this would be a good test because these are plastic rims and I don't like to over tighten these fasteners. These have been Loctited in place, so they are on nice and tight. See what I said? You got to really hold on to it. Okay, now I want to reinstall these with a very light torque without over torquing. So let's see what the minimum torque is. Now I'm just going to check this by hand, go by feel to see if this is as tight as I want it. I would say this is just a little bit under torqued. I would probably tighten it a little bit more, which is perfect. It means this is not going to over torque it beyond where I want. It just stops at that level, and yeah, that's perfect. It didn't crush my plastic. I think it's a great lower limit for a lot of more delicate hobby applications like RC crawlers. So let's put it back on and see what it feels like. Let's start with 2. So it stopped. So it stopped the first time before it got all the way tight. It was reaching its torque limit before the bolt was twisted all the way down. So 2 might not be enough, but let's see what that feels like just by hand. Yeah, that's about as tight as I would want it to go. Let's go a little tighter with 3, see what happens. Remember, reverse is always full torque. Now we'll tighten it with 3. Yeah, I would not want to go tighter than that. So I think for RC crawling, 1, 2, and 3 is the full range of settings that you would probably use, and number 1 is not going to over torque your more delicate settings. I probably wouldn't recommend this for anything smaller than a 3mm fastener. 24 scale vehicles with M 2.5 vehicles, this is probably overkill, and you're probably going to strip and break bolts. So 10 scale, perfect. So there you have it. I'm super stoked about this tool. It's small, it's easy to use, It's USB-C rechargeable, so you don't have replaceable batteries. And I love the full torque in reverse. It's really a great tool. If you've got a favorite power screwdriver, let me know about it in the comments.